today, starting work on the 6-second drag and drive car. So for you guys out there that don't know, we bought this car about a year ago while I was building my old man's VH, which don't worry, there's a video coming on that. We bought this car to build a 6-second drag and drive car out of. All I've done is basically strip the interior out of the thing and stored it up on my mezzanine. But today I've actually started cutting some metal out of it. We've ordered a heap of parts for it. We've got some radius tubs just over here. And then these beautiful pieces from Showtime Fab, which are their Pro Radial body mounts. It does upper and lower front like the bars that go to the body. So you can get your anti-squat just right because there's a lot of fine adjustments on it and it's a lot stronger. Because as you know, these ones are just like sort of spot welded to the floor. We've got a sheet metal full floater, 40 spline 9-inch coming for it, anti-roll bar, track locator, some enemy wheels are on the way, some 1510s, double bead locks, and I've ordered myself a tube bender as well, Speedworks air hydraulic tube bender, and a heap of chromoly tubing, some 1 5/8, so that we can build a 8-point roll cage for this, with a couple of extra added in safety features as well. Not quite SFI. SFI is a real big funny car style cage, which we didn't need to go to. We'd like to, but it's a lot of bars, and we still want to street this and do drag and drives with it. So Andrew said, yep, 6.5 seconds is as fast as you can go with a weld-in 8-point cage. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what a lot of others have done. So we'll take you on that journey, but right now I'll just give you a quick rundown of how I do all my first cuts when tubbing cars, because obviously I've got my VK, Dad's VH, this VK, a bunch of other cars that I've tubbed as well along the way. So as daunting as it looks sometimes, it's pretty easy job. So I'm just literally, I'll spin the camera around shortly and I'll show you where I make all my first cuts. I just use a Unimig plasma cutter, and I'll show you the quick lines that I cut out just to get majority of the metal, and you can actually then get into the boot through one of the holes that you make, and it makes it a lot easier when you're on the end of a grinder just cleaning everything up. So yeah, let's turn you guys around and show you. Right, so here we are in the driver's wheel well. This is the one that has the fuel filler in it. Basically I can just come in, you can come in and probably see it more from the boot. Just come in just above the floor line and just on this here, because that's actually lipped up, so that's actually spot welded to there. It's hard to get a drill up to these ones up here, so that one there I'll just hit with the grinder and get rid of them spot welds. All of these ones along here and up the back here, same as on this side, you can come in with a spot weld drill bit and you can get rid of this ledge here, this edge. You can keep it if you want, make it a bit easier to weld to, but I think it looks a bit cleaner when you get rid of that edge. Same thing here, just above the floor line. This hump will end up going in this car because of the way we're going to do our shock mounts and the length of our shocks and everything. I'll leave the boot braces in and I'll just move them out of the way, and then once I've got new tubs, you can trim these and weld them back to the tubs. Same as spare wheel well, cut all that out. Same thing, just leave a bit of green on there, and I'll then come in and clean that up with a grinder. And the top of the floor as well. So this here will end up coming out and getting exposed. And the same on this side here. So this is actually all spot welded underneath. You can actually get these spot welds and remove the whole floor pan and build off of the top of that, make it nice and straight and flat. Because we'll end up having panels come across here with some inserts so you can get in there. On both sides, and then this will just be a nice big flat floor, as well as I'll be cutting this out as well, because obviously this has to be sealed from the cab, same as the parcel shelf. That will stay, but I'll just fill in all of these holes up here. As you come into here, that's the same deal. I've just come in just a little bit off of here, and the rest of that I can get in with a grinder. But the wheel tub essentially will end up coming 255 mils. It comes into here and then all the way down here. You can just see a mark I've made there and across to here. So yes, that does mean you'll be cutting along here, along this panel and into this rail. Because if you come down here, it'll end up being flat all the way along there. So all that spring perch will get cut out. If I come around the end, that thickness there is nearly 50 mil, and you'll just end up straight lining that all the way down. It will end up taking just that corner there out, and that'll give you 260 mil from the original wheel well join up here across. So you'll knock a fair bit of that rail out. As you can see, there is a chalk mark that I've made there. That's where I'll be cutting. I normally just do this with a laser, and you'll get your laser that comes 90 degrees, and you'll measure from 2 known points at the front all the way back, make sure that's level this way, and then theoretically that'll just come in line with this rail here, this top one, this back rail here, and that's where you make your cut. Having the tub on hand as well, because you can just sneak it up in there. Same goes on this side. This is our basic line that will follow that all the way down, and you'll be cutting into that rail as well. Now, when we did Dad's VH and my VK, we actually gusset the inside of these, which is what our engineer asked for. So I just made little U brackets that slotted in between the top of the rail and the bottom of the rail. Top of the rail is actually more up here. Added some 3mm plate, and you fully weld it on both sides on this rail. So basically you come in from the inside, weld it, and then the plate that you put on here, you'll drill some holes in and then you'll flood weld it. So it strengthens it up. That's what our engineer asked for, so we're going to do the same thing with this. We've got some radius, like pro radials mounts from Shogun that will replace all of this, because as you can see, that's just spot welded to the floor. Same thing when we done Dad's VH and my VK, the engineer asked that we stitch weld all of these, because it's basically literally just spot welded to the floor, and that's what holds your diff in. So the pro radial arms that we have, these beautiful pieces just here, they have lots of adjustment. They're the lowers, they're the uppers, and these get welded in replacement of those factory ones, which then brings both of them straight, which, as you'd know, on a factory diff they are not straight. This bottom one sort of points out. Radius tubs, like I said, 255mm from there to there. That'll fit a 325. That's the same style tub that we have in my VK and the same tub that we have in my old man's VH. I also went along and cut the floor out, so it's easier to get in here to do whatever grinding you need to around the place. Gives you good access. So on this side it'll be the same. You'll cut across here, all the way up to here, to around about there, halfway across this rail, and that'll come all the way through here. Cut these off. People always just cut through them and leave them on. It looks dog's nuts. So make sure you cut all them off. I've taken all the pan art off. Same thing, I'll just come through, oxy everything, and then I can come and get to all these spot welds and grind them all off. This here is all going. That whole floor is going from basically here. So on my car, I took this out and made a new hump. Dad's car, I left it all in and actually raised the shock hoop into the floor and then sheeted over it with a nice radius piece. Another car I got coming in soon, a VL Commodore, which we're doing a tough Pro Street style build on. I'll be deleting the floor and using a above floor mount from Shogun with their what would you call it? Their shock mount, floor mount, like everything's all in one. Panhard is all up high, so that you can get your car low, get your nice anti-squat in that, and that's running very similar diff to what me and my father have in that car as well. So I'll do some filming on that as well. So next for me is I've just got to finish cutting this out, cut all this floor out. I'm probably just going to weld a piece of RHS between these two, just to maintain the body panel and everything in place while I'm doing all my cutting here. And then when I come to put my tub in, that'll take up that place, and then I can sheet the back of this. One of the other pieces of equipment that we've just bought, new bead roller. As some of you might know or seen it in the background of my other videos, I've just always had a manual one that I put a big wheel on, which made it a bit easier. But yeah, having the foot pedal, have a lot more control. I'm going to be doing a lot more beads and strengthening parts and panels. I can do some tipping, rolling, radius cutting. I can do all sorts on this one. And I also have a table coming for it, and a few other different dies. But we have also ordered or bought a supposedly good running Turbo 400. As you know, these are hard to get now, coming hard to find. So this here I'm only basically using as a mock-up. So I'm going to chop the front bell housing off of it, and then we'll buy another bell housing that bolts onto the oil pump. For two reasons I'm doing that. The transmitter that we're going to put into the race car will have that style sort of transmission with a bolt-on bell housing. But the VL I'm doing as well has going from RB30 to 400, so he will need a bell housing adapter. So I can use that on that build as well, mocking up the engine and stuff on that. But as for this, what are we putting in here? I can tell you, it's not an LS. Not an LS, you say? Wow. No, not an LS. That was our original plan, was to do a LS twin turbo, which a lot of people have done. But we feel a big block twin turbo is going to be a lot better for us for what we're going to be trying to do. So obviously, you know, I run a 9-second street car, so this is going to be my first proper fast car. So yeah, we're going straight to the big block because that's the only thing you really need to do. Because it would be the easiest way to do it, we think, would be the less strenuous way for it to do it. So going big block, it's just lazy horsepower. As you know, we're only going to be caged to 650. We're not going to be running 650s on the first day we go out there, believe me. But that's our end goal, 650s, and we're going to drag and drive it, and we want to do a consistent 6 every day at a drag and drive event here in Australia, maybe in America. So yeah, big block. So we have a big block coming, just a factory sort of 2-bolt main casty that I can use for mock-up. And then I can build my chassis around that, so all my bars underneath for like your chassis connectors, where my seat mounts are going to go. I'm going to build a new tubular K-frame, or possibly engine mount. Engine plate. We're not too sure how we're going to do it yet, but that's a problem for a lot later on. So there you go, big block, twin turbo. You heard it here first. We're going to go straight to the top, baby. Also, while we're on updates, what's this? Motor for the VK. So after 14 years of abuse, I finally decided, let's give it a birthday. So still running, still driving. Unfortunately, I'm not building the original block that I've done all the 14 years of abuse with. This motor actually come out of the VH, or when we bought the VH to Dad's car, come with a complete stock LS1. So I took the crank, took the block, everything else I threw out or gave away or sold or whatever, and then just put a set of scat H-beams in here, some forged pistons, my camshafts going in it, and got my heads being tickled up by Brenton at THR. So yeah, not a huge upgrade by any means, but it's just pumped some reliability back into it so that we can do a heap more street driving this year with the fam. So yeah, that's an update on that bad boy. Also, as some of you may have noticed, I have lined my shed. It's just some chipboard that I got from a pallet place, just some old cover sheets, and I insulated it using some earth wall, which I still have plenty of. But yeah, I lined the whole shed everywhere, started putting up some of my memorabilia. Yes, that's my quad bike sitting up on the wall there. As some of you may know, I do race quad bikes. Oops. And yeah, done up all behind the mezzanine. Goes all the way up to the roof there. That wall behind the door. And I've also fitted an AC, which I'm looking forward to using in summer. And then just got the doors to insulate. But yeah, pretty happy. It's made a big difference in here already. So it's starting to rain, as you can hear on the roof. Painted all my pallet racking black and a few other bits and pieces. Changed this end of the shed a fair bit. And actually I widened my welding bay. And I'll turn the light on over here. So my welding bench used to come to about here. So I actually moved it back a little bit, which created a bit more room in there, which is good. And then there used to be a bench here, which is now some cupboard space. So stuff like my fittings and car wash stuff and whatnot's all in there. Just some general organisation around the workshop, which has really helped. Apart from that over there, I still need to sort some of that. That's my powder coating bay. But yeah, everything I could, I basically painted black. Got to make a bit of a steel rack for all this stuff down here because I'm sick of having it down there. But yeah, that's the update on the shed. That kept me busy for quite a while. Now it's full steam ahead on this bad boy. And I'll just quickly show you. That's the plasma cutter I used. Little 10 amp job. Very basic. They're pretty cheap actually. I think that was about 600 bucks, not even, I can't remember. It's been a while. But it's so handy to get into places where you can't actually normally get a grinder. Anyway, so that's a wrap up. Thank you guys for watching. You will have some more content coming on the 6-second drag and drive car, as well as possibly the Pro Street style VL I'm building for a friend of mine. Just got to get his permission, which I'm pretty sure he's keen on. But that'll be a real nice build. RB30, 40 pound capable motor, turbo 400. We're going to try to put aircon in there as well. Yeah, tubbed, factory style interior, fresh paint, shaved bay, like the whole kit and caboodle. And that car is also getting engineered as well. So I'll take you through that process. The VH, Dad's VH, a few small things left to do on it, like some bar rubbers and do the aircon. I've done the windows and a few other bits and pieces on it. But we did take it to the drag strip. I have got some footage of that, which I'll throw one in on this video, and then I'll do a rig rundown on that whole car once it's all finished. But he did run a 10, which he was absolutely stoked about. So he hadn't been to the drag strip in 48 years. So yeah, on his third try, hit that 10. He was stoked. Mum was stoked. I was pretty happy to see the whole thing come alive for him. But yeah, lots more footage coming your way, especially on this and the VL build. So thank you guys for watching and enjoy.